Hello, humanity. Welcome to the
Welcome to the
podcast.
first ever episode of Hello
Hello,
Humanity.
humanity. Uh, what's
Um,
this podcast for? What is this?
Two guys chatting for
Two guys
fun.
chatting,
Two guys
talking
chatting.
to the general species
Population.
of humanity. Okay,
Yep.
yeah, okay. No, yeah, that seems very fair. Um,
Okay.
how are
Now
you, Conrad?
I am good. How are you, Britton?
I am good. I had a long day yesterday. I
Yes,
slept till
you flew to Vermont
yeah.
or
It was a
Boston.
lot.
Did
So
you where did you fly into?
Boston.
Okay.
So the Boston Logan Airport. So I was telling you a little bit about this earlier. So the plan was that we needed to get us and the dogs here in Vermont. While
Yes.
doing so, we needed to get a car.
Uh-huh.
So we had to figure out some way to fly there, get a car, and bring the dogs at the same time, and that would have been a whole mess. So we split it up into two sections. My father and I
Did you
left
have two
between
different flights?
yeah, so
Okay.
my
Yeah.
father and I left the 23rd, and our mission was get all the things that we need to get in
Hmm.
Vermont, or that we need to get in Boston and to Vermont.
Yeah.
And my sister and mother flew with the dogs the next day.
Okay.
So,
Yeah, that makes
and the
sense.
whole day was we flew in on the 23rd at like 10, so we went straight to our
Mhm.
hotel and went to sleep. But the important part is, so I have to
Wait,
start
did
at the
you
very
have a
beginning.
rest? What time did you leave here? What time is
I left there like 9-ish, I
okay?
believe. Yeah,
That's
I left
a
Portland
pretty good
9.
time for a flight.
Yeah. So we flew in and it was fine, and we got an Uber and we drove to our hotel, which have you been to Boston before?
Mhm.
So you know how like all the buildings in Boston, the residential buildings are like the old, like, Revolutionary War era
Yeah,
buildings, very tall, very, it's nice. Um, our
nice.
hotel was one of these houses
Oh, that's
transformed
cool.
into a hotel. We flew into, we got to our hotel and we were hungry. So, because it was like what, 12 once we had gotten to our hotel. By Portland standards, for us, it was like, what would that be?
9.
9? Yeah, it was still 9.
Yeah.
We ordered pizza from this awesome place, and then
Oh,
my dad
yeah.
and I were like, "Oh man, we need drinks." And so I was the navigation guy this entire trip. I was the one who was like pulling up because I have my setup where I got my Google Pixel fixed.
Good,
So
good.
my setup now is AirPod, Google Pixel in pocket, and I can access my Google Pixel whenever I want
Yeah.
just by talking
Uh-huh.
into it. So
Uh-huh.
I became de facto navigation.
Uh-huh.
So we tried going to a 7-Eleven that was closed because quarantine has gotten everything closed, and it's also
Oh, is it
like 1
quarantine there
a.m.
again?
Yeah, so
Oh,
everything's
it's 1
still
a.m.?
on. What was that?
1 a.m. or 1 p.m.?
1 a.m.
Oh,
Yeah, no,
I thought you were
yeah.
flying in the morning.
What? Oh no, we flew in the morning because we had to fly up to Seattle and we had a long wait in Seattle. Yeah, and then
Ah,
we flew straight from Seattle to Boston, which is like a 5-hour flight.
yeah.
But yeah, so we went to the 7-Eleven. It was closed, and so we went to this gas station across the street. And we went in and we got our drinks and we got some candy and we started heading home and we found a lucky penny. Now this is very important. It was heads up. My dad picked it up. I swear, I am not a superstitious person, but I swear by some way that penny had like made sure everything went right. I don't know. It was just because everything got chaotic and it could have
Mhm.
failed so miserably, but
You didn't?
it all worked out. So next day comes around and we get up and we're trying to contact for the past week we've been trying to contact this guy who has a car and he
Uh-huh.
he isn't really responding to us, and so we contacted other people and we have maybe about 6 people who we're trying to get in contact with. No one is responding to us except for one
Uh-huh.
guy who sent his address and another guy who was like responding to us pretty quickly, but today for some reason wasn't. So
Uh-huh.
we were like, if this guy responds to us, we can go get this car. And it's just the
Kind
first
of
car
car is
is
it?
yeah. So the first car that the guy wasn't responding about and only gave us his address was a Jeep Cherokee 2000, and the
Nice.
other one, the guy who was responding to us was a Subaru of some kind. Um,
Okay. I mean, either one of the cars, if they're used on the East Coast, are
yeah.
going to be destroyed already.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Um,
If they're old at all,
yeah.
because
So, and that
everything
ended up being the case. So we we went to go have lunch with one of my dad's old friends from college when he was in New York. Uh,
nice.
he was really great. I got to meet his, he just had a kid, and it was great, great lunch. Um, and then we got in an Uber. We toured around MIT for a little bit, and then we got in an Uber and we went to this guy with a Subaru, which is in the parking lot in some random part of Boston. And we got there, he wasn't there, and we were just
Fun.
waiting. Guy trying to call him and message him, and he wouldn't respond. And eventually, he came, and this guy is like, he's not the kind of guy you want to buy a car from. He pulled up in like a wood shop truck and was like, "I hate masks so much," and he just like that was his whole vibe was just, I'm done. I'm old. I'm cranky. And
Okay. So not
we're
a chill dude.
yeah, and we needed to buy a car that day, and we're like, okay, hey, we want to buy this car from you. And he opens up the door, and the part where like the front door where you can control all the windows and stuff,
Uh huh.
gone. It had been ripped out, and there were just wires sticking out. He's like, well, I got to fix these wires first, and basically,
So you're
eventually,
just like, okay, no.
yeah, and eventually it turned into a bust.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if
the
someone pulled up with a car and it was missing shit
yeah,
that
no,
should
it
be
was
there, it's just
not.
like, okay, maybe not this one.
Yeah,
Just
it
maybe,
wasn't.
just maybe not.
We did not want to buy this car very much, and I didn't really
Yeah.
like this car very much. I preferred the one who gave us the address. It was more expensive though, and out in the middle of nowhere, like
The
countryside.
Jeep?
Yeah, the Jeep, and it was a
Wait,
lot.
did you end up getting the Jeep?
I'll get to that.
Okay,
So
okay.
we we're stranded essentially. This is where like the chaos begins. We're stranded in Boston, in the middle of nowhere, at a parking lot with a guy who has a broken car, and we need a car that day.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
all we have is this address. And so my dad and I are like, okay, we gotta get to a Bank of America to get money. So that way, if we can get to a car somewhere, we can, we can buy it with cash right then and there. So we walk
Okay.
to the Bank of
Yeah.
America and then we get cash. We go
That's a lot
into,
of cash.
yeah, no, yeah, people were, we didn't really want to have to like Venmo or anything like that. We just wanted
Yeah.
it straight up front, right then and
Just
there.
give them cash and not have
Yeah,
to deal with it anymore.
exactly.
Makes sense.
And we went to a Starbucks, which was closed, and we kind of just sat there and we had to figure out what was going on. All this while, my dad is trying to
Call
figure out,
this
try
dude.
to call someone. We don't have any phone number because it's through Craigslist. We don't have any phone numbers at all. We have
Oh yeah.
emails, and we email them, they won't respond. And we developed this strategy. We have one address,
Uh-huh.
and this
So
address
you
is an hour away, out in the middle of in Oregon, in Portland, how if you
yeah.
take off into East Oregon, eventually you get to like
Like you
farmland.
get like to Estacada.
Yeah, like it
If
looked
you
like
go
this place, like
okay,
Warren, Vermont, like middle of
yeah.
nowhere. Yeah. Uh,
Like yeah, okay.
yeah. So we called an Uber, and we were like, okay, we need to get a car somehow. And also, mind this, we have a grocery order that we have to pick up in an hour, or no, in 2 hours,
Okay.
and it has stuff that's cold. So we had to
Ah.
get there and we had to have a car in time. Plus, also, if we don't have a car by the time my sister and mother and dogs all land, we can't go pick them up. Therefore, then they're stranded at the airport. So we end up taking this big risk, and the guy pulls up in the Uber and is like, "Where are you going?" Like he is shocked at how we're going out in the middle of nowhere. He's like, "Are you sure this is where you want to go? Are you sure? I'm gonna need like something for that kind of drive, like because it's late evening and like I
Yeah.
understand. And we're like, we can get a new driver or we can give you a big tip. He's like, I can work with that. I can do that. So we had promised him a $30 tip if he can drive us out there after paying $60 already
Yeah.
for
Nice.
the drive
Nice.
out there. And we have no clue if this car is even there anymore
Uh-huh.
or if the
Uh-huh.
guy is even home. So
Uh-huh.
we pile in. Yeah.
Seems
Yeah,
pretty
no, it
risky.
was a risk. We were putting everything on black right now. Like, I was stressed. I was very like, you know me. Those are the times
Uh-huh.
when I'm like, this is chaos.
Uh,
This is disorder. I don't know how to function in that. But I put in my earbuds and I got in the car and we drove out into the middle of nowhere. And like, as the closer we got, the more it was like that nervous feeling of like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
we're about to get
Like
murdered by
I don't
someone.
know. I don't know what we're gonna do. Like, I don't know how, like, where I am. I'm in the middle of a state that I've never been to, and we don't even know if this car's gonna be there. I
Mhm.
hope this car is there. Like, all we had was hope. Um, and we're driving through, and this is when like I start seeing barns and stuff. Like, where is this guy gonna be? Like, what
Where the
what am
hell
I
are we
gonna run
going?
into? Like, yeah, I just it was not a good situation. So
Seems
we get to this place and we pull around the corner and the Jeep Cherokee is there. It's like this is the truck, the Land Cruiser that we have, right?
yeah.
It's like
Is it
that but smaller and it's like a dark green and it's not the shiny dark green, it's like
Matt?
yeah, the matte, yeah. It's nice. It was really nice. That was the car I wanted the whole time. Um but and I was just glad that it was there. And there was a phone number on it, so we finally like this is when we finally got a phone number for this guy. And
Did
it was I think I can't even, it was like
did
late
the
evening.
Uber driver
Oh,
leave you guys
Uber
there?
driver, we were like, "Hey, can you stay here just in case?" So he stayed with us. He was hanging
Okay.
out with us and he was just listening to music. Um and we just
That's
like cuz
good.
we might have ended up having to be his ride home if,
Yeah.
yeah. But we the truck was there and we were like, what do we do? And so we sent the Uber guy home and we gave him his tip in cash.
Uh-huh.
And it, now we're in the middle of nowhere and we knock on this guy's door. Like, this house is a barn in front, a house in back, and the barn is just filled with tools. The barn is also wide open. So
Was
but
he
I
in
had
there?
no clue. No, he wasn't in there. We knocked on the door, wasn't there either. And my dad and I were just
Huh.
standing out front of this guy's house,
Just this
sorta, this
random
guy's
house.
barn.
That's
Yeah.
not sketchy
Oh,
at
yeah, and
all.
there's, like, a really busy street.
I would
Yeah,
totally expect
this is
someone
where
just
I
to
get
come out with
awkward.
like
Yeah,
with a
exactly.
shotgun and just be like,
Yeah.
"Get off my lawn."
That was the thing I was really worried. So to get to this guy's house, you had to, like, go through his lawn, which was, like, behind the barn, and then up to his house, which looked like a back door too. So I was like, "I don't wanna get shotgunned
Shot.
to the face." Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so I have a lot of nerves going and I'm freaking out. And I go across this busy street to this lady who's out front. And because Maddie lives in small towns and I've lived here and how like in a small town, everyone knows each other.
Yeah.
So I was relying that this lady would kind of know the situation. I was like, hey, we're trying to buy this car, explain the situation. Is there anything I can know about this guy? He won't respond to his door. And she's like, well, if his truck's not here, it's an old couple. If the truck's not here, he's probably not here. And the truck wasn't there. Oh, and it was separate truck apparently.
Okay. Okay.
And this is when we like got really worried. And I was talking to my dad. I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen. Maybe he's napping. Perhaps he's out back, or he's just out somewhere with friends. And we were just planning on staying there till 7. And about 30 minutes later, the guy just comes out of his house. It's like, "Hello, hi, I'm here. I was napping." He was asleep in his house. We were like calling him over and over,
Oh,
emailing him. It's like, I was napping.
that's
And this
so
guy
funny.
was exactly the kind of guy you want to buy a truck from, like this like a a car from like this. Like,
Uh-huh.
he was super funny. He was cracking jokes. He was like, "Let's get in it. Let's drive around. Let's hang out. This is this 20 years old, so be careful with her." But it's he was like talking us up, hanging out with us.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
and
so
we got
funny.
and we exchanged the deed, or not the deed. There's some other name for it.
Yeah, the
I
like
learned it.
it. I know
I
what you're
can't remember.
talking about.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called, but
Pretty much,
whatever the deed form of car, the car
it
form of the
just
deed.
says it just says that you have
Yeah, that
ownership
you
of it.
own the car. So we
Yeah.
exchanged that, and we had to take this guy's license plate too, because we don't have a license plate for the East Coast. So he was like,
Oh
"Hey,
yeah.
you got to send back the license plate. Here's my address." We gave him the money. He was like, we were like, "Do you want to count it?" He started counting. He counted 20, and he was like, "It's all there. Like, we're good. Like, I don't care." So he was just like
Okay.
super chill about everything, super awesome. And we got the truck, and I could not believe we had actually successfully gotten it.
Done it.
Like, we were driving back. I was like, "How did we do this?" Yeah. So we had left our bag at the hotel, so that was our next mission. Go to
Hotel.
the
But
hotel
or
to get.
did you get your food first?
Um, no. We went to the hotel because we had to go through Boston to get to where our food was. So we just
Ah,
went ahead and got because in Boston, like, to get from one side to the other, it's just like in Portland, it's a straight shot. You get on Hawthorne or Belmont or something, straight shot. But there, it's like
yeah.
twisty roads, turning left. So it was a lot of navigation.
Mhm.
Um, but we got our stuff. We went to the grocery store, we got our groceries, which is great. And this is when we realized that we had to fit 2 kennels, 2 dogs, 2 children, 2 adults, well, 3 adults almost. Because yeah.
Well,
But
then are you a children?
all of the suitcases and the groceries, and I was worried that we weren't gonna fit everything. And we got to the airport, and we had to wait an hour in the airport, and my dad and I reorganized everything. We managed to get the, like, what, 7 bags down to 4 bags of
That's
groceries, but we
impressive.
also had an ice
Impressive.
chest because
Ah,
for some reason we ordered, like, a gallon of milk, and which I'm
yeah.
happy about 'cause uh,
You drink a lot
can't
of
go to the
milk.
store. Yeah, like I drink a lot of milk, but at the same time, it took up a lot of space.
Soy boy.
Yeah, but the dogs come, and I was really worried about the dogs because you know how, like, I have 2 dogs, 2 lovely
Flying,
dogs,
flying,
and Winnie's
flying with
fine.
animals
Yeah,
is
Winnie's fine. I wasn't worried about her. I was worried about Jelly, who is like,
a very
she's
old
an
dog.
old dog, and she's so sweet, and I love her, but she's just a
Very
mess
dumb
sometimes.
dog.
Yeah, and I didn't want her. I was worried about, like, her being too cold and,
Mhm.
and not making it through the flight, something
Yeah,
like that. But she made it. She's fine. I'm
that's
really glad
good.
about that. We got them once we had gotten them, they were still a little bit, like, a little drugged up, but besides that, they were okay.
Good,
Um,
good.
but we get to the airport and I'm charging my phone. We grab all our stuff, and we get to the car, and my mother and I just pull everything out and start packing it in. And we're like, "This needs to go here. This needs to go here." We organize things like crazy, and we're moving things, and we got everything
That's
into the
impressive.
car. And my situation was we had a bunch of stuff in the back, and
Mhm.
we opened up the kennels and flipped them over and put them inside of each other, so then they're like little crates, and we put, like, suitcases in there and slid it into the corner, which the kennels took most of the space, so there was a lot of stuff
Yeah.
in the kennels and stacked on top.
Did you
Um
take the dogs out of the kennels and
oh,
just
no,
put them
yeah,
in
yeah,
the back
the dogs
seat?
were out of the kennels. Jelly was
Yeah.
actually on my lap. Winnie was on my sister's. There were 2 suitcases in between us. My mother had the ice chest at her feet, and yeah, yeah.
This sounds like when I went camping at a regatta. So I had all of my sailing gear. all of the camping stuff,
Oh,
all of
no.
my clothes,
Oh,
and then all of
no.
the parts for the boat. The car,
You took
like,
an entire boat with you?
fully on top of the car,
But yeah,
my
but
laser.
still, like, you have to have a lot of stuff for that.
I mean, a laser, it's not that much,
Did you
but
put it was a okay, I was thinking 420.
no.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I mean,
But you had, like, all because camping supplies, like, that's a car
yeah.
filler. But
Mhm.
sailing is also a car filler, so
Yeah. It was a
wow.
lot.
Yeah, no, you remember when last summer when rather than flying, we drove across the entire country?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
We took a U-Haul, like, tow thing, the little tow
Mhm.
crates because we were moving furniture here, um, but my parents didn't think about the fact that we wouldn't have the tow thing on the way back, and so we
Ah.
overpacked a bunch of stuff, and yeah, and we had to drive across the entire country. This was just a 4-hour drive, like, last night,
Yeah.
but, like, I will admit this was 100 times less stressful than driving across from Vermont to Oregon
Mhm.
with a packed, uh,
Yeah.
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 Plus also a cat as well because we got Goose last summer, which was honestly the most entertaining thing ever, seeing a cat in the car just a kitten in the car walking around. Yeah.
Yeah, that's really funny.
I actually have we got this thing that, like, attaches to the side of the window that's a little bed that suction cups to it.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, Ella
it's the
has
most
one of those.
adorable thing ever. I'll send you a picture. I'll put that in the show notes too. We'll put
Yeah.
that in the show notes.
Yeah.
But we're here now. We made it home. We're all good. And by the way, right when we got home, our tire popped. So now we have a flat tire. We weren't gonna
Oh,
leave any well, we were gonna go to Trader Joe's, I think. But besides that,
oh, that's so funny.
but now we're stuck here, and which is totally fine. Like, this is the
Do you
most
have a spare
beautiful.
tire?
We do have a spare tire, but it's like
Okay.
a spare tire. Like, it's
It's like a
skinnier. Yeah,
donut
but
tire? Yeah.
I also have to diagnose the truck. Apparently, being an auto major did come in handy for me for this one moment because we start the car every so often and no one knows what's going on with it. But I'm 90% sure one of the pistons isn't firing. And the
Uh,
only reason I know that is because I went to auto and
nice.
decided to listen to this thing that Mr. Rayleigh was talking
How
about.
how old is the car? Like,
It's
what year is
2000,
it?
so it's 20 years old.
Okay. So it
And
won't be too much plastic.
oh yeah, no, it's a good amount of metal. I think that it might be either that the spark plug isn't one of the spark plug isn't
Yeah.
firing every so often, or and after a while the pistons all get in sync, like, it's fine, but it's just on startup it'll take a little while. But I think either
It's
this,
probably the spark plug or,
yeah,
like, the
the
the one of
intake
the
valve as well
yeah.
might be a little bit jammed on one of the pistons because yeah. It also might be how we start the car because I know Mr. Rayleigh can, like, can start a car in a certain way that will intentionally make a piston not fire, like one piston not fire. I don't know
What?
how. I think he does something to the engine and then he can do it, but
Okay.
I don't know. I'm gonna diagnose it. I'm gonna look at it a little bit tomorrow, but yeah. But
Yeah.
that was my whole journey.
Yeah, you could just, like, take the spark plug out of one engine at a time, or out of one
Yeah.
cylinder at a time, and
Yeah.
just let it run.
Yeah, see if
Or
it might be.
just disconnect the power to the spark plug so then it won't fire.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's a 4-cylinder or a 6-cylinder. If it's a 6-cylinder, I bet it's 2 pistons aren't firing. If it's 4-cylinder, it's just 1. But
Yeah.
whatever it is, we're
It's
looking into it.
definitely nothing broke because you would
Oh, yeah, no.
definitely hear that.
Yeah, no, if it was like, we were able to drive it and it wasn't good. Like, it's like driving with bad oil. Like, it's not
Yeah.
bad. It's not gonna shut down your car in the middle of your drive, but it's
It just
gonna
doesn't
hurt your car.
sound.
Yeah, and it makes sounds and yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there was oh, yes, Uber drive. So, the Uber industry. This is what I wanted to talk.
Okay, so we're going to we're going to
Yeah,
topic
we're going to the topic.
or
So,
topic 2, I guess.
Yeah.
at this.
Um, I just kinda had so I realized in Boston, it is so hard to get a Lyft or an Uber. It's so hard, like,
Hmm.
you've is I don't know you've been on the East Coast a lot, and I lived on the East Coast, but that was
I
before
mean, not a
Uber and
lot, a
Lyft were a
couple
thing.
times.
But
I
is this just an
I
East Coast thing? Because in Portland, you can ask for an Uber and you walk out your door and it's already there.
Yeah,
Like,
it's like it's 5
yeah,
minutes everywhere.
I use
Less
Lyft.
than 5 minutes everywhere.
Yeah, like, if I'm ever at, like, a house show, I always use Lyft to go home
Yeah,
because, like, everyone else is calling Lyft, so there are a bunch of Lyfts already here, and there are tons in the
yeah,
area, so you could just call a Lyft whenever.
yeah,
But here, it's, like, up to 16-minute waits. Like, by the airport, this is what surprised me. The airport, it took forever for the Lyft driver to get there, which is
huh,
surprising because isn't like I feel like an airport is the perfect place for an Uber or Lyft driver to be around because
yeah.
you're driving people home who don't have a ride.
Well, at bigger airports, like at the Portland airport, they have like the line where like you
Yeah,
get in line and then you
yeah.
get like Uber and then Lyft
They don't
drivers
have
just
anything
come
like
here.
that. They have little signs that point you
Yeah,
towards, the
like
parking, like
where you stand
yeah.
to like
Well,
pick
no,
it
they
up.
have, like, little arrows in the airport, and then it just leads to the same place that you pick up if you're like, in the Portland airport, you
Yeah,
can get
yeah,
picked up
just
by
like the
people, yeah,
normal pickup. It's
yeah,
just there.
but
Huh.
that's it. Like, that then you just call your Lyft driver when you're there, and they pull up and you get in. But, like, there's no structured system for it, it's just
Huh.
Lyft and Uber are kinda there, and I don't know if it's a East Coast thing or
I'm
I
guessing
do
it's I'm guessing it's just the
like, I
like
know this is how
size
it is
of
in New York,
Boston.
but that's because of the cab industry.
Yeah, it could be that like the
That like, because in New York, don't they I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on this, but I'm pretty sure the cab industry would like, had a whole thing where they were complaining to New York governor
about
and New
the
York government
drivers.
because the Uber and Lyft industry were, were completely destroying that because,
Yeah,
like, in when you compare the 2, Uber and Lyft are just better because
yeah.
you are rated by the driver, not by the service in general, and
Mhm.
you have to keep your car clean, you have to get a lot of checks and regulations, you and I don't know the exact rules, but, like, every Uber I've ever been in, every Lyft I've ever been in, totally clean, totally clean. It
Yeah,
super
because
clean.
if you get more bad ratings,
Then you're not
then
gonna
like
get called as much,
yeah,
and people won't
or
wanna ride with you.
people won't like accept it, and
Yeah,
if your rating gets low enough, then you get like suspended or something like that.
yeah,
I don't know
and I
exactly
I
how
have
it
had
works. I
amazing
think that's how it works.
conversations. I've had amazing conversations with my Lyft driver, but
Are you the kind of person who likes to talk with
I am
your driver?
I am not, and that actually surprises me because 'cause I'm very extroverted.
Yeah,
I am not. I like to talk when
you know the person.
not when I know the person. I like to talk to the Lyft driver when the conversation is very interesting, but a
Hmm.
lot of times, like, what do you really talk about? Like, there's not much you talk about. I've had amazing conversations, and usually they're about, like, the lives of that Lyft driver. Like,
Huh.
I had this guy, my Lyft driver from a house show, and he was from, I'm 90% sure it's Pakistan, but I don't wanna butcher it. So, and he was like, "Oh, how are you? Like, how was your night?" I was like, "Oh man, it was really great. I just went to a house show." He's like, "Oh, I've never been to a house show, but I really want to go. It's one of the reasons that I moved here." I was like, "They are super cool. Where'd you move from?" He's like, "I moved from here, and my family moved here, and I started as a Lyft driver, and my wife is a nurse." I was like, "That's super cool. Like, and I had a long conversation about like his life and my life, but then you'll sometimes get a Lyft driver that's like, "So the weather today was good." It's like, yeah.
Can't you, like, I don't know if this is something that I heard someone wanting Lyft and Uber to add, or something that they did add and they thought was cool. But say if you like talking or not during your, like,
Oh, I don't know if that's a thing. I hope that's a thing because that would be nice.
if not, that would be cool. I have no idea if it's a thing or not.
I took a lift once with this is the best story ever. I took a lift once with my friend, you know Zach, right? From in our at school.
Yes,
Zach, he was in our chemistry class.
yes, yes. Zach.
Yeah. Um, I ended up in a because they like you know our houses were in the same direction. I ended up in a lift with him, and
Share,
he
Lyft share,
was
whatever.
he was so like it was late at night. He was so tired. Like he was so freaking tired. He was like leaning up against things, and the point is he looked like he was drunk, but he wasn't. And he was like, "Oh," and he had a bad stomach ache. He had a headache. He just having a terrible time. And
Cool.
I'm in there totally silent, and the guy like drops off Zach. Zach gets out, and the moment that Zach is gone, he goes, "So, what were you guys up to tonight?" And I was like, "Oh, I know what you're implying. Nope. I just told him we were playing Mario Kart, which was half true. We played a little Mario Kart, but like we just were hanging out, walking around. Like
Yeah.
it was,
That's so
it was,
funny.
yeah. He was interesting, but um, no, yeah. I just like I don't know why, but here on the East Coast, it's so hard to get Uber and Lyft, and I don't know why. I mean, I'll look into it. I just haven't gotten the chance to
Yeah,
yet. But yeah, um, but Uber and Lyft, man, like that's crazy.
it's pretty
That's
smart.
crazy. Like that
I'm
is
just, I'm just,
genius.
I'm just waiting for Tesla to release
Yep.
its self-driving
Self-driving,
car system
self-driving car industry. Oh man, that's
service.
another thing I was thinking about. Once self-driving cars become a thing,
Segue to our next topic: self-driving cars.
self-driving cars. Please make it illegal for people to drive.
Yeah.
Make it illegal for like
Well,
I
okay,
was driving around Portland and I hate how people I hate that the way I drive. I hate like you
okay. We just need to wait until the software is good enough that they get in crashes less often than humans
yeah.
do,
I
which
mean they
isn't
sort of do
yet.
because like you could
I mean, it's hard
consider
because
like the self-braking. What were you
there's
saying?
such there's such a small amount of cars that every time there is a crash by one,
Then it's like
it's like,
a huge deal.
yeah. So, but I'm pretty sure that we get in crashes like
Oh, all the time. Isn't it
I
like
forget
every
I forget how many miles you have to like.
hang on, let me look this up. How I average number of car accidents in the US each year 6 million. 90 people die in a car accident every day?
Yeah,
Oh
no,
my
it's a
god.
lot.
And apparently 1 in 7 people don't wear a seatbelt while driving? Wow.
I don't
That's
understand why people don't.
that's really dumb. But like I also want to point out how did those self-driving cars crash? Was it a self-driving car to a self-driving car? Or was it a self-driving car with
Yeah,
a buffoon ape driving a highly
I mean, there was the one, the biggest, like the one that like blew up with the biker who died.
Oh, okay.
The Uber system, which just saying those cars look freaking dumb as hell.
What do they look like? Here,
Have you seen them?
you
They
keep
look
on
so.
talking. I'll and what is it? Uber self-driving car?
Yeah. They put like this system on top of the car so that they can like use any kind of car.
Oh. Oh. I understand what's there, but at the same time wait, do you oh, okay.
So
Yeah, that's weird because 'cause it's got, like, the weird hat almost that just sits on top of the
yeah,
car. Yeah.
which
I mean,
is
it makes sense because you have to have some way for it to look
yeah.
everywhere, and that little, like, half cone is the thing that
It like
spins.
spins, yeah, it spins around.
Yeah.
Like Tesla, it's just built into the car
Mhm.
how they do it,
Which is amazing, like, that's
which
way
is
better.
yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
I just like,
but
my dream car to drive is not driving at all. Like,
yeah,
that is like, a self-driving Tesla and now did you see the thing where, like, you can have it come to you in a parking lot or whatever?
yeah, the like
That
summon.
I
I saw some like news article where a police car was trying to pull over a Tesla that was using like summon. So there was no driver; it was just driving itself, and like a police car like tried to pull it over or something. I don't. I think I saw an article about that.
Oh my
But back to
god.
the Uber
I mean, that's gonna be
crash.
more and more common, like and here's my
um,
question, when you get pulled over by a police officer and you're in a self-driving car in, like, the back seat, whose fault is it?
I feel like, but you won't get pulled over.
Yeah,
That's
that's
not
true
gonna
because 'cause you're not
be
gonna be speeding.
you
Because
won't be speeding, you won't be running lights or stop signs.
like, you'll be perfect.
The only reason that you could get pulled over is if one of your lights is out or something like that.
Yeah, or you're doing something stupid like sticking your whole body outside of the car and throwing
Yeah,
eggs at people. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Uh, but back to the Uber crash thing. Pretty much a biker like came out into the road and the system couldn't identify what it was for some reason. Like they were in
Oh.
a shadow or something,
Oh, it was
and
like a
it
trick
just
of the
like
light and the
yeah, and it
system
was just
glitched.
like
Oh,
I don't know
no.
what it is, and then just didn't stop. And the driver who was driving it didn't see the person because they were.
Oh, that's awful.
I think that's what happened.
Yeah, no,
I'm
I'll
not
yeah.
sure,
I mean,
but
wait, we can
you
put a
can look
link
it up.
we
Yeah,
can yeah, we can put a link in the
that was a while ago though.
show
I think it
notes, yeah.
was last year,
Oh,
but I just
man,
remember
that's
reading about that.
terrible. I mean, like, it's terrible it's really bad that someone died, like, that's sad.
Yeah,
But at the same time, it's really bad because it also gives self-driving cars a really bad rep. Like
yeah, and then like the Tesla that crashed because the
yeah.
guy was just being a dumbass and filming himself driving, and then the car crashed, which is kind of funny, but also not good.
I don't know. I can't wait for the day where I can, like, summon my car like the Batmobile. Like, I want to be able to like, I don't
Hit
know what it is, but my goal is to just be every single comic billionaire mixed into one. I want to be able to call my car from the other side of Portland and to just expect that it'll
wait.
be there. Yeah, and
Yeah,
just wait for me,
I
like,
mean, I would be happy just to not own a car and just have like
"Oh,
ride service where you pretty
now you're
much
getting into, like, my dream utopia. No cars at
yeah.
all for
Okay,
individual people."
I don't know if we've talked
In
about this, but have you read the book series Five Kingdoms
You
by
told me
Brandon
all
Hall?
about it, yeah,
Yeah,
where n
there-
people don't own cars?
yeah. So there's this one part. There's this city, that is like super technol.
Technologically advanced.
Yeah, there you go. I cannot speak. Uh, but pretty much, they just have self-driving cars, and it's a whole network of self-driving cars,
Mhm.
and you just go to like a turnout pretty much, and you just summon one, and then you just get in,
Yeah,
and
okay,
then you
yeah,
just give it your destination, and you
and
just
then
go
it
to
just
your
knows
destination.
where to go.
Yeah,
I That is my dream, like That's my dream world. That's my dream city. Like I love old-fashioned travel. Like I love bikes, I love trolleys, I even love like horse carriages and stuff. But the thing is, I have a deep love for the future. Like you know this about me. I I can't get enough of like a city that is all self-driving cars and everyone is, has their home, and to get in you use a handprint, and you can like call everyone has a little has glasses that you can see your route right in front of you, Google Glass
Uh-huh.
style, and like,
But not ugly like Google
yeah,
Glass.
not ugly like Google Glass. That's the last piece I need to finish my uh billionaire like walking around system. I have my earbuds that are always in. I have my Google Pixel, which is amazing. I just need glasses that when I ask for a route, it shows a little blue line in the actual road that I'm looking at. And that would absolutely blow me away. One day though. But yeah, I know. Cities in the Middle East, man, like they are
The oil
amazing.
countries, the
I
countries
just
that have a
the
shit
oil
ton of
countries
oil.
have like if Antarctica had gotten colonized, it would be the
Well,
richest
well, well.
place in the
You
world.
see that when we run out of oil in other places,
Oh, yep. The
and
oil crisis.
have you seen CGP Gray's video about who owns Antarctica?
Yeah, with where all the chunks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how the
And the
U.S.
US
and
and Russia
Russia,
both have their own
yeah,
little
like
like I
we get
mean,
a spot somewhere.
and since they all overlap, why not we just overlap all of.
Yeah,
Oh man,
and then
I hate that idea because Antarctica is my favorite continent. Antarctica,
yeah, it's
like
so cool.
number one. I mean, Zealandia is up there, but I can't.
Zealandia.
Yeah, yeah. Oh man, you got the continent that's under the ocean. That New Zealand is technically its own
Oh,
continent. Because oh shoot, what was it? To be a continent, I'm not 100% sure. To be a continent,
the requirements to be a continent are very fluid.
yeah, no, they're not super. But like by a geologist standpoint, they have to have all four types of, or no, all three types of rock: the igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic. You have to be like above the sea floor. Like
Uh-huh.
there's a clear difference between the thickness of crust
hmm
and a tectonic plate, I believe.
Yeah,
I'm not
that,
sure.
that, you're
Yeah.
on your own tectonic plate.
But
I think
technically New Zealand is on its own, like not just the
it's
island of New Zealand, but the like New Zealand is just the part that's above the
yeah.
surface. And like there's this huge continent that borders the Australian plate that is like that fills in all of those requirements, is way above sea level. And if we looked at Earth the same way we look at other planets based on surface features, we would classify it as a continent. And so people are trying to argue that it should be a continent. But anyways, Antarctica, favorite continent.
Um,
Like
talking
not.
about different kinds of rock. Sorry to interrupt, but talking about different kinds of rock in New Zealand, there's this place in New Zealand called um like oh, what is it called? I don't remember what it's called, but it's like you can see all the layers
Oh,
really clearly, and
oh,
it's
oh, there's a
on the coast.
geologic name for that.
It's like sand. It's like oh,
Cutoff?
what is it
No, it's
called?
like,
It's it looks so
yeah,
cool
no, no, no.
though.
Are there fossils by any chance?
Probably,
Oh man, that is,
but
there's,
like there's like this path that like you can walk through, and it's just like these little like pillars, and you can just see all of these like
oh,
layers.
that is beautiful. New
Yeah,
Zealand
it's
is
really
a New Zealand is a beautiful place, and I'm 90% sure it's because humans took so long to touch it. Like, and say it like that's the same thing with Antarctica. Antarctica is
Hmm.
so amazing. I have a subscription to uh what is it,
Yeah.
PBS Studios, because I'm a nerd and that's what I do with my free time and binge watch nature documentaries. Um, there's this show on there that's about Antarctica. It's these two people who work for BBC, and usually they are just like they're film editors. Like they edit the
Hmm.
film, and but then they go to Antarctica to make a documentary about what it's like to do research on Antarctica,
Oh, that's
which is
cool.
amazing. So like go through everything, like the waste treatment, the garbage disposal, the exploring under the ice, exploring over the ice, exploring animals, species, seasonal patterns, everything. They get one shipment every year, and Antarctica
Mm.
just freezes their food, and most of their food is expired, but it's like they still eat it because it's fine
Yeah,
because it's
because
been
it's
in the
just been
cold.
frozen. Yeah.
Yeah. But where was I going with this? Oh yeah, Antarctica, it is
Such a
such a
long tangent, you forget why it started.
it's such a beautiful continent. Like, have
Yeah, it
you
is.
seen the maps of Antarctica if there was no ice?
Mm-mm.
Oh man, it's an archipelago.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah,
because that's something that confuses some people is that like Antarctica is a continent. It is like like North America. It is not the same as our northern ice cap because the northern ice cap can melt away, and it's not as the
yeah.
northern ice cap
There, there's,
freezes.
there's,
sh-
there
It
isn't
free
any
Yeah.
like
There's
land
no land.
really.
Yeah, it freezes straight from seawater.
Yeah,
Yeah. Or maybe I think it might actually it is freshwater
yeah,
on its own, but like
without
it's this
ice.
beautiful archipelago,
Yeah.
and
Well, didn't it
the
used to be like a whole like
it
tropical
was a tropical
forest?
place. So dinosaurs back like
Yeah.
in Mesozoic era, it was like it was green. There were like tropical things there. The reason why Antarctica is so cold is because we're technically we're in an ice age right now. We're in the second ice age of planet Earth. I'll get to that way later. But
Okay.
yeah, we're in the second ice. We're in the end part of the ice age. We're in a special ice age because of the way that our planet is tilted. We're not icy. We're just ice
Oh,
age.
okay. So like our okay, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
But
And now we're just heating it
yeah,
up.
and because now we're just heating everything up and destroying that ice age. But whatever,
It's a
you know.
good ice age, not a bad
See,
ice age.
yeah. But so that's one of the reasons why it's frozen over. Also because it's a continent that because it's at the bottom of our planet, it's at the pole, so ice is
Mhm.
more likely to form there and gets less sun
Yeah.
exposure. And thirdly, this is something I found really fascinating. It's because it's at the bottom, ocean currents move around the planet. Therefore, ocean currents are moving around Antarctica, and that keeps warm water from moving down. Like
Yeah,
that's why New Zealand is
the
so
Arctic.
warm. New Zealand's super warm because warm water hits New Zealand, whereas like, you know, oh man, where is it? Actually, a better
Here.
example is uh England. England is at the same latitude as like middle Canada.
Yeah.
But because warm water from the Gulf Stream from Gulf of Mexico hits
Yeah, the how
England,
like
it's warmer.
the global currents go is very
Oh yeah,
interesting
it's
how they
amazing.
work. But if we warm the planet up too much and too much of the Arctic melts, then that will get disrupted because it
Yeah,
won't suck the water up
yeah,
to
and
the
it'll
pole,
be
and then bad,
yeah.
very bad. That's
Back
bad.
when uh we were alive for the last El Nino, but I went to a hippie school, so that was a big deal. But there was like I can't remember, but there was something wrong with El Nino last time it
Oh,
happened.
oh yeah. Well, that happens every couple years.
Yeah,
Like I think we're in one this year. That's why we didn't get as much. It's that is just like the airstream
yeah, yeah,
of
yeah. Where there's like a
either
weird flip.
yeah, it instead of it going over us, it goes over
Yeah.
California. So
Um,
California ends up getting more rain than we do.
yeah. But anyways, about Antarctica. Also, this is like I'm getting nerdy here and going on like a rant, but like
This went from AI or not AI
AI, self-driving cars to
to
Antarctica.
Antarctica somehow. I don't know how it
Who
got
knows
here,
how?
but it
Our
did.
listeners can, if you're out there, if there's anyone at the moment.
There won't be.
Um, but best thing about Antarctica. So when it was tropical, when it was like not frozen over,
Mhm.
it connected South America and Australia. And that's the only place marsupials live. Except for,
Mm,
of course, the possum up in North America. But there are marsupials like kangaroo and wombats on Australia, but then there are also more primate-like marsupials in South America, and that's
yeah.
because the marsupials started in uh, South America, and one of them was actually the platypus,
Mm,
which wasn't a marsupial. Well, one of the other animals that started in South America. There was a giant platypus at one point that lived in South America, and then they
yeah.
migrated along Antarctica and then up, along with
Hmm.
some of the. I might be messing this up, but some of the dinosaurs. But that means that Antarctica, if it hadn't frozen over, would have been the high population of creatures there would have been uh marsupial based, like
Hmm.
completely. That would be
Yeah.
the only mammals there. Also, birds played
They all
this.
went to New Zealand.
Yeah, so Antarctica is like all the different animals in their places are flipped. So like mammals played the same role as like small mammals do
Mm,
today, even the larger mammals.
yeah.
Birds played the same role as large mammals and predators because of the elephant bird. Because
Yeah.
the giant, humongous birds that moved to New Zealand through South America were there
The
too.
emu.
Um, and then like dinosaurs, well, the predecessors to dinosaurs were there, and like I love
Mhm.
Antarctica so freaking much. And if it wasn't like covered over today, it would be an extraordinarily rich country. And I don't think, who was it? The Danish who discovered it first?
No idea.
I don't think it would have been then. I have high bets it would have been uh the Polynesians. This is a theory that's gone around because the Polynesians like basically ruled the Pacific Ocean and
Well,
just
yeah.
went from like island hopping. Like
Hmm.
like they that would have been so cool. That
Same
would have
with
been.
like China. They went all over the
Oh
place.
yeah, Japan as well. They probably could have. Not the
No,
Mongols because they did
it
not
would have
have.
been Japan or not Japan, China back then, because they were very seafaring.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
If we're talking about
And then like
way
the
back.
Greeks and Romans were stuck in the Mediterranean,
Yeah, they
so not
didn't leave.
them.
It wasn't until later that
Yeah. In South
people.
Africa even could have
Yeah.
like they could have, or even Argentina, like they could have designed
Mhm.
boats and gone over. Who knows? Maybe they did at one point and then we're like, okay, this is all ice and I'm cold, so I'm leaving.
Let's go back to our tropical paradise.
Yep. But anyways, I love Antarctica. I love Antarctica so much. It is so beautiful. It's such a beautiful. I want to go there so bad. I've told Maddie like 10-year
I want
anniversary.
to go there too.
It's so cool. Oh man, wait, what was the other thing as well? 'Cause I wanted to get into that as
AI
well.
was the other thing.
AI. So this goes back to the self-driving cars. Um, you don't like AI.
Well, okay.
I wanted to have a discussion about this so that way so now the world knows. Now the world can see. You don't like AI.
Well, that's not exactly.
You then explain how you feel about AI. That's a better way to present it.
Um,
How do you feel about AI, Conrad?
I think that people. I mean, a good example of what will happen is there's the. Did you hear about the facial recognition
Facial
company
recognition. Okay.
that was? Did you
Oh,
hear about this company?
I think I know what you're talking about.
do you know what it's called?
I don't know what it's called, but you're talking about, like, the issue with how, like, people are using facial recognition for
Well, okay, so most companies, like bigger, pretty much all of the big tech companies were like, we're not gonna pursue facial
facial recognition
recognition
because it can
because
be used for
it can
really
be used
Oh, I do know
for a
what you're
lot of
talking about.
bad
The
things.
company that was, like, selling it to,
The
what
U.S.
country? What
government and
Yeah.
a bunch of other people.
Yeah, they're
Um,
like
the like founder and CEO is the complete
Yeah, and, like, they were asked,
not a good
if they would sell it
person.
to North Korea, and they were like,
And like they
"Uh,
took photos from the internet, from
yeah,"
in
on, like,
like
social media and stuff.
from social media without asking the companies. And companies
Yeah.
have asked them not to do that, and they're like, too bad, we're gonna do it.
Oh my god.
Because the other thing is the technology still isn't perfect and it will never be perfect. You can still get false matches
Yeah,
decently. It's still pretty
and,
common.
like, wasn't the company working with, like, police departments as well to
Yep.
and
Yep.
aren't they using it now
Yes.
to find protesters?
Yes.
Do you watch Patriot Act?
No.
Oh, man, it's Hassan Minhaj. He is absolutely amazing. He did a whole episode about this, with facial recognition. I'm pretty sure he did. It might have been John Oliver. I'll have to look into it, but I he was just talking about this company, like, they were reluctant to say no. They didn't say no about selling facial recognition technology to North Korea. They were letting facial recognition to be used to target protesters at the protests that are happening right now. Um, all sorts of stuff, like bad stuff.
Yeah.
Because
Trying to find what it's called.
and did you see the Russian company? Oh my God, there's a Russian company that is using facial recognition for an app where if you're at a coffee shop or a bar,
Oh yeah,
you
I
can
saw
take
it.
a photo of someone who you think is attractive and it will show you all their information.
Yeah.
Do they not know how terrifying that is? It was like this guy who's like took a photo of this lady at a coffee shop and then found her social media through this app. Excuse me, that is such an invasion in privacy. But like I would not be okay with someone taking a photo of me at a at a coffee shop or a bar if I were to go to one. Not old enough yet, but that's terrifying. That's terrifying that people can just figure out who you are by taking a photo of you. Like if it's helpful, I can understand that. And Google does this where you can take a photo of things and it will show you things. Or if I take a photo of you right now, it'll pull up my photos of you, but it won't
Yeah.
bring up your social media.
Yeah.
If I'm at an Ariana
Um.
Grande concert, but somehow don't know who Ariana Grande is, and I take a photo of her, she's a famous person.
Yeah.
She's someone who
Um.
people can look up, and it will show me who that person is. It'll show me Ariana Grande, the Google of it. But it like
Pretty much. Why I brought this up with AI is because this shows that companies and people are very greedy,
mhm,
and if you give them the chance to develop something that will make them money, they are going to do it,
use it
and
to make
not
them money.
properly, and do it in a
Yeah.
way that will risk things. And with AI, that is even more risky than
Uh-huh.
facial recognition because of
Yeah.
artificial intelligence.
I see
So,
what you mean. So
if we're
you're not
going to
worried about
develop
rogue
it,
AI. You're worried about companies using AI. Rogue
I'm worried
companies.
about people making AI and not
Then I
being
actually really
careful
respect
when they do
that
it,
point
and
of
not
view actually. I I always get upset at people who are like with self-driving cars. I don't want a robot driving me because
yeah, no, no,
I
no.
couldn't trust a robot. No, you can't trust people. People are
No, I would probably
untrustworthy thing.
trust an AI if it, but just the building and making it.
Yeah.
I don't trust people to do that in a responsible way. And I
Yeah.
don't know if there is a responsible way to do that.
Yeah. Oh man, there's a whole deal with
So yeah,
just humans. Everything about them is they're
because
ridiculous. They're ridiculous
people
people.
are very, very greedy.
Yeah. I mean, I love these creatures. I love humans so much, but at the same time,
I love some humans.
it's like I don't know. It's like watching a
Humanity
mouse
can be
hit a
good.
dead end in a maze for the 100th time. Like you're great, but you're making so many mistakes.
Yeah.
You know?
Thank you for listening. Make
Yeah.
sure to
Yes.
subscribe and hit that notification bell.
Hit that bell icon, ringy dingy ding.
Make sure it's filled in gray so you get notifications when we post.
Yeah.
We're planning to do a bi-weekly schedule,
Yeah.
so every other week.
Mhm.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.